God's favorites are born only under this zodiac sign. There are people who seem to have been touched by the hand of God himself. They will not be broken by storms, burned by fire, or overshadowed by darkness. They go through life as if they have invisible protection, a power that cannot be explained by logic. They are the ones who are called God's favorites. Their path always leads through trials to the light, and fate, no matter how it twists and turns, ultimately grants them victory. Today, I will reveal to you the truth about the zodiac sign that has a special blessing from above. It is not just a character or energy. It is a seal that marks only the chosen ones. They have an amazing ability to attract good, even when everything around them is falling apart. If you feel that your life has often been saved by a miracle, perhaps you belong to this heavenly circle. Stay tuned until the end, because I will reveal what makes these people chosen and why the universe gives them more than others. Subscribe now so you don't miss out on something that could change your perception of yourself. The next few minutes will reveal whose protection you live under. The first sign is Capricorn. Everything Capricorn touches sooner or later turns into a meaningful form. This is not a coincidence or cold logic. It is an inner law embedded in his soul. People of this sign have an amazing ability to see structure where others see chaos, which is why life often chooses them as guides through the most difficult trials. They are not born for easy paths, but for those that lead upward, to the peaks where the air is rarefied and the view of the world is crystal clear. They do not need crowds, do not seek approval, do not ask for mercy. Their own inner strength, reminiscent of a stone hardened by centuries, is enough for them. That is why Capricorn is one of God's favorites, because it is able to hold on to a gift that others would lose in the first storm. Their hearts are not on display, but they are capable of deep feelings and eternal loyalty. Capricorns do not betray their convictions, even when the whole world is shouting the opposite. They stand like a rock in the storm, and it is in this steadfastness, in their ability to remain silent and act when others lose their way, that their sacred privilege lies. Fate does not give them an easy path, because it knows that only they can pass through silence and stones without losing their soul. His trials are not punishment, but a choice from above, to purify, strengthen, and elevate. Capricorn rarely talks about his dreams, but their power is enormous. There is no fuss in his thoughts, only a calculated movement towards the goal. And when he achieves it, it is not a loud victory, but a quiet, triumphant silence that speaks for itself. Capricorn often exudes a sense of calm and confidence, as if everything is under control, even when a storm is raging outside. People are drawn to him without understanding what exactly attracts them: wisdom, calmness, or that invisible spiritual shield he has carried since birth. They do not seek attention, but the universe itself directs it towards them. Where others see only work, they feel a calling. They tend to act without unnecessary words, and therefore many underestimate the depth of their nature. But behind his outward restraint lies a tremendous strength of spirit, comparable only to the energy of mountains, immovable, but alive. This strength does not disappear even when life strips him of everything that has a material form. Within him lives a core that is impervious to time. Inside Capricorn, there is a special sense of truth. He does not tolerate falsehood, does not play roles, does not change colors, depending on the circumstances. For him, truth is not a phrase, but a state. It is this ability to remain honest in a world of illusions that makes him one of those chosen by God. After all, only those who know how to maintain purity of intention in the darkness can be a guide for others. Capricorn does not say that he believes. He lives as if faith is built into his DNA. His eyes are always a little serious because they see deeper. Where others look for a shortcut, Capricorn walks slowly but surely, knowing that the real thing can only be achieved through effort. There are no empty promises in him, only actions born of determination. That is why he becomes the one to whom God entrusts the most important tasks, those that require endurance, responsibility, and discipline. And although sometimes it seems to him that he is alone against everyone, there is always invisible support in the shadow of his shoulder. Capricorn does not waste words because he understands that each one has weight. In the silence of his presence, the world seems to level out. His mind is sharp as a blade, but there is no cruelty in it, only order. He knows that everything has its time and does not try to rush what needs to mature. This patience is not a weakness, but part of his divine plan. After all, God is in no hurry, and Capricorn, like his creator, knows that perfection is born in tranquility. And when the world fluctuates, he remains the center of balance. His life may seem harsh, but there is nothing accidental about it. Every step, every turn, is part of the grand architecture that he builds, not only around him, but also within himself. And when the moment comes when everything he has experienced comes together in a single line, it becomes clear. He did not just endure, he fulfilled his plan. That is why God blesses Capricorn not with words, but with the power to be what no one else can be. The second sign is Virgo. Virgo belongs to those who never betray the order of life, even when chaos reigns around them. Her inner world is a system of precision, purity, responsibility, and calm. Everything she does has a deep meaning. She cannot tolerate chaos because her nature strives for harmony in the details. God did not endow her with flashes of emotion, but with the ability to build reality step by step, carefully, intelligently, with thought for the consequences. That is why Virgo is among his favorites. After all, only those who are able to work without ostentatious brilliance create true beauty. She sees imperfection where others are satisfied with the surface and strives to correct it, not out of arrogance and shedtent, but out of a sincere desire to improve the world. Her path is not one of great victories, but one of subtle changes that form perfection. People of this sign often seem calm, even cold, but inside them lives a deep concern for others. They do not show their feeling because they believe that love should be action, not words. Their devotion does not require witnesses. It manifests itself in precision, in small things, in daily service. Virgo knows how to hear the world, not in a metaphorical sense, but truly hear the rhythm of nature, changes in people's moods, invisible patterns of events. This is not mysticism, but natural intuition, honed by logic. She is rarely wrong because there is no haste in her determination. When everyone else is rushing to extremes, Virgo remains clear-headed. Her mind is a lamp in the darkness that does not blind but shows the way. And that is why God chooses her from the crowd, for her ability to maintain a balance between heart and mind, between emotion and duty. Her path is not easy. She often finds herself in the role of the one who holds everything together when others lose control. Teams, families, ideas, entire systems depend on her. And although she may look tired, she does not give up, because she knows that if she stops, the world will fall apart. In her heart lives a deep sense of responsibility for life. This is not a burden, but a calling. God does not give her tasks beyond her strength, because he knows that she is capable of enduring what others cannot. In the presence of Virgo, there is a feeling of purity, not only external but moral. She does not tolerate falsehood, does not play to the crowd, does not seek approval. Her satisfaction comes from doing the right thing, even if no one sees it. Such people often do not realize how special they are, because their modesty does not allow them to think of themselves as chosen. But modesty is a sign of God's grace. After all, true strength never shouts. Virgos have an amazing ability to heal, not only with their bodies, but also with their words, presence, and gaze. They bring peace that restores balance even to those who have long lost it. It is as if God has given them an invisible gift of restoration. They know how to pick up the pieces, restore faith, and make people believe in their own strength. Her precision is not pedantry, but a form of love. Through order, she creates a space where the soul can breathe. Virgo does not believe in coincidences. She lives by the principle that everything has meaning. If something happens, it means it is necessary for growth. Her wisdom lies in her ability to see logic even in pain. She does not complain because she knows that life is not a struggle for ease, but a school where every lesson has value. She is not afraid of work because she finds purification in it. Her hands can create beauty from the simplest things. She knows how to transform the mundane into harmony. God chose her not for her strength, but for her precision. For in his plan, it is the Virgin who is the guardian of balance, the protector of order, the symbol of stability. She never allows herself to be frivolous, even when the world calls for chaos. Her endurance is her prayer. Her faithfulness is her blessing. And although she rarely speaks of faith, she lives by it without even noticing. Her actions are the purest reflection of God's plan: precision, care, and silence. When others seek glory, she seeks results. When everyone argues, she acts. And even if it seems that no one sees her efforts, God always sees them. For every task she performs is a service. Every step she takes is proof that goodness can be quiet but invincible. Her mission is to maintain balance where the world is falling apart. And that is why she belongs to those whom the Lord loves in a special way, without loud words, but with eternal trust. There is no fuss inside the Virgin. There is only a calm belief that everything is happening as it should. Her heart is so pure that she even experiences pain with dignity. She does not seek rewards, because her reward is the feeling that everything has been done right. And perhaps this is her highest holiness: to be precise in a world where chaos reigns, to remain honest where it is more profitable to lie, and to carry light even when darkness surrounds her. Virgo does not demand miracles. She herself is a miracle, created by God to remind people that true perfection lies in simplicity, order, and fidelity. The third sign is Cancer. Cancer is a soul that lives with its heart, even when the mind is silent. There is something in it that cannot be taught or explained, a deep ability to feel the truth through emotions. Its world is built not on facts, but on feelings. And it is this sensitivity that makes it one of those whom God touches especially tenderly. Cancer is not made for fighting. It is made for protecting its home, loved ones, the silence in which love is born. Its strength lies in kindness, which it does not demonstrate but simply lives by. And this kindness is not weakness, but a form of wisdom, because only a pure heart is capable of seeing the depth of the human soul. In a world full of noise, Cancer remains silent but understands everything. They sense the invisible, read emotions, and feel the pain of others as if it were their own. It is difficult for them to be indifferent, because Cancer's heart has no protective walls. It is open to the world. Despite this, they never allow pain to make them cruel. On the contrary, the more wounds he receives, the more tender he becomes. And that is why God loves him, because he has an unconditional ability to forgive. Cancer does not seek the limelight or strive for power. It is enough for him to know that those he loves are well and peaceful. His nature is to serve without reward, to help without demands, to care without calculation. People often take this for granted, but the universe itself knows that it is precisely such souls that maintain the balance between light and darkness. Without Cancer, the world would be cold. In his presence, even silence sounds gentler. He seems to carry within himself the imprint of God's love, the kind that needs no proof. His depth is not about tears, but about understanding. He sees what is hidden from the eyes and knows when to remain silent. Cancer does not impose, does not pressure, does not prove. His strength lies in patience, in the ability to wait for everything to fall into place. He believes in time, in fate, in the invisible harmony of life. And this belief gives him peace, even when everything around him is falling apart. He doesn't need proof. He just knows that God will not abandon him. There is always a special atmosphere in Cancer's home. It is safe, cozy, and warm. He creates a space where you can be yourself. And this is not just a character trait, it is a spiritual mission. Because his home is not just walls, but a state of mind in which others find healing. His embrace is a refuge where the world becomes quieter. And although he himself often does not receive the care he gives to others, his heart is never empty. Because those who know how to give unconditionally always have a reserve of inner light. Cancer does not compete. Greed and pride are foreign to him. But when it comes to loved ones, he becomes an unyielding defender. There is steel in his tenderness and determination in his silence. God gave him a heart, capable of loving without fear, and at the same time, the strength to stand guard over those who are weaker. His care is not just an emotion, it is a gift through which he manifests his love in the world of people. Cancer is not afraid to cry, because tears for him are not a weakness, but a form of purification. He knows how to let go, but he does so without malice. His forgiveness is always sincere, though sometimes painful. And in this lies his divine nature. Not to hold grudges, not to accumulate darkness. He lives with his heart and therefore always finds his way back to the light. Even when passing through darkness, they do not lose themselves. An invisible flame burns within them, quiet but eternal. All their decisions are born of intuition. They may not have proof, but they always feel where to go. This is not mysticism. It is a connection to a higher source. When Cancer is silent, there is more truth in that silence than in hundreds of loud speeches. His energy is a calming presence that helps others remember who they are. And that is why he is so highly valued in the spiritual world. He brings peace when the world is gripped by fear. Cancer is not a sign of strength in the usual sense. It is a sign of protection, compassion, and understanding. There is no ostentatious glamour in it, but there is a deep nobility. He does not change people with words. He changes them with the way he lives. His life is proof that goodness can be quiet but unbreakable. God repeatedly tests its tenderness in a cruel world, and Cancer passes this test with honor. because it knows how to love even those who do not appreciate it. When others seek miracles, Cancer itself is a miracle. Its ability to feel, understand, and forgive are not just character traits, they are signs of God's presence in it. He reminds people of the most important thing: the heart always knows more than the mind. And as long as he retains his kindness, the world will not lose its balance. Because God does not abandon those who know how to love unconditionally. And Cancer is just like that. His love is God's reflection on earth. The fourth sign is Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign in which God has left a part of his invisible power. People of this sign do not just live, they experience the depths of being. There is no superficiality in them. In every word, in every glance, there is the tension of life and death, truth and lies, love and betrayal. Scorpio sees the world without embellishment, which is why his soul seems heavy. But it is this depth that makes them chosen. God entrusts them with what he cannot entrust to others: the power of transformation. They are born with an inner fire that does not fade even in the darkest places. In their eyes lives a truth from which there is no escape. They see what is hidden, feel what others are afraid to admit. People are often frightened by this insight, because it is impossible to pretend in front of a Scorpio. He sees through masks and hears lies even in silence. His insight is not just a gift, but a burden. And that is why God stands by him, because only those who are able to look into the darkness can know the light. Scorpio does not seek the truth. He himself is its mirror. His life is a struggle, but not an external one. It is a battle with himself, with fears, with temptations, with the past. From birth, he has a built-in cleansing mechanism. He rejects everything that is dead and revives everything that is alive. This is not a desire for power, as others think, but a deep need seeking to restore balance. And although they often go through pain, this pain makes them stronger. With each fall, they rise again, purer, wiser, unshakable. This is their divine nature. Scorpio is not afraid of darkness because he knows that even darkness has meaning. He goes where others dare not go and returns not with defeat, but with experience. God has given him the ability to transform pain into strength and ruin into rebirth. His path may be difficult, but it always leads to the truth. This sign is not one to look for easy ways out. Its strength lies in its depth, in its ability to live everything to the fullest. And when it loses, it is not to suffer, but to purify itself. Absolute honesty lives in the heart of Scorpio. It cannot tolerate falsehood, even if the truth hurts. Its directness can hurt, but it is always pure. They say what others are afraid to say and do what others do not dare to do. God loves them for this, for their ability to be real in a world where most people play roles. Scorpios do not know how to live halfway. If they love with all their heart. If they believe to the end. If they fight to their last breath. His energy is not just willpower, but a magnet that affects everything around him. People feel it even when he is silent. His presence changes the atmosphere. His determination breaks down barriers. His faith creates the impossible. But he never brags about it. Scorpio knows that true power lies not in demonstration, but in control. His silence weighs more than the speeches of others. And even when he says nothing, there is always a feeling of power around him. Scorpio is a test for others. Those around him cannot remain superficial. He forces people to look at themselves honestly, to change, to become real. It is his mission to purify. But this mission often brings him loneliness, because not everyone is ready to withstand his depth. But God rewards him with something else, the inner peace that comes after the storm. He goes through chaos to find harmony, and this is his path. His love is like a flame. It does not play games or burn halfway. If a Scorpio gives his heart, he gives it completely. But when he is betrayed, he does not seek petty revenge. He simply walks away. His revenge is silence. His forgiveness is oblivion. He does not waste himself on anger because he knows that time will put everything in its place. And this is where his spiritual maturity manifests itself. God does not allow him to fall low, even if the world pushes him. Scorpio carries within himself the power of rebirth. He is capable of losing everything and starting all over again, as if nothing had happened. His soul does not know the concept of the end. For him, any end is the beginning of a new stage. It is a sign that reminds the world, even after the deepest darkness, light comes. His life is proof that God never abandons those who are not afraid to fall in order to rise again. Scorpio is one of those who carries the invisible key to the door that only the strong can pass through. He can be different, silent, passionate, sharp, soft, but always genuine. His path is not easy, but he does not need it to be, because he knows that real life is not about avoiding pain, but about being able to go through it without losing your soul. And that is why God keeps him close, as a symbol of indestructibility, as the embodiment of the truth that even in darkness there is a place for light. The fifth sign is Leo. Leo is a sign that combines grandeur, dignity, and inner nobility, which come not from pride, but from a deep awareness of one's own mission. People of this sign do not just live, they radiate presence. Wherever Leo appears, the atmosphere changes. It is as if everything around is filled with clarity, movement, and strength. His voice is confident, his gaze is firm, and his gestures exude calm authority. God has instilled in him the idea of leadership not for glory, but for service. Because a true Leo does not dictate, he leads. And it is this ability to lead that makes him one of the favorites of God's will. He is created to shine. But this light is not born easily. It has gone through struggle, doubt, and loss. Leo does not become great immediately. He is shaped by experience, by trials, by defeats that teach him restraint. His greatness lies not in the fact that he never falls, but in the fact that after each fall he rises, maintaining his dignity. He does not allow pain to make him cruel, nor does he allow loss to destroy his faith. This is precisely why God stands by him. Leo does not betray himself even when the whole world turns against him. His heart is a source of nobility. He is generous, but not for show. Leo can help without demanding gratitude, protect without expecting glory. His kindness is not softness, but a form of strength. He does not allow himself to humiliate others, because he understands that dignity is the highest virtue. When Leo loves, it is complete love, warm, powerful, fearless. He is incapable of half-hearted feelings. His devotion is like the sun. If it shines on everyone. Leo was born to set an example. His presence reminds others that a person can be strong and humane at the same time. God has endowed him with an inner code of honor, one that does not allow him to go against his conscience, even under pressure. His decisions are always dictated not by fear, but by principles. That is why life often puts him at the center of events, so that he can show others that dignity cannot be bought or sold. And even when Leo is silent, his behavior is a lesson for everyone. His energy is like fire, but not burning, rather warming. It attracts, inspires, and makes people believe in their own strength. Next to him, you feel protected, confident, and stable. He can be strict, but never unfair. His justice is a form of love. When he punishes, it is for educational purposes. When he praises, it is sincere. God entrusts him with power over hearts because he knows that he will not abuse it. His strength lies not in control, but in responsibility. But despite his brilliance, Leo is deeply vulnerable. His soul is sensitive to injustice, betrayal, and indifference. He may be silent, but inside he is deeply affected. And even when the world sees steel in him, God knows that behind this steadfastness lies a big heart full of love. Leo does not show his tears, not because of pride, but because he does not want others to feel weakness. His pain is always quiet, but real. And it is for this ability to bear pain silently, without becoming embittered, that he receives blessings from above. In every Leo lives an invisible warrior, not one who fights, but one who protects. He does not seek to destroy, he seeks to preserve. His calling is to be a support. In the family, in the team, in society, he is the one who stands guard over order. People often seek his advice, not noticing that sometimes he himself needs a word of support. But God compensates for this. He fills Leo with energy when others have already exhausted their strength. Because he knows, this sign will never betray its duty. Leo does not seek to rule over people, he seeks to rule over chaos. His desire to control is not ambition, but a need to create harmony. It pains him to see disorder, injustice, and weakness of spirit. That is why he acts. And even if his decisions seem harsh, there is always logic behind them, order through which the world begins to function again. God gives him the role of maintaining balance, even when everything is falling apart. His path is always bright, but not easy. For the stronger the light, the greater the shadow. Leo often faces envy, misunderstanding, and the desire of others to diminish his importance. But he does not respond to evil with evil. He just keeps going because he knows that true strength does not need to be proven. And everyone who tries to humiliate him sooner or later realizes that he is not a person seeking attention, but a soul serving a higher purpose. Deep down, Leo has something of a prayer, faith in goodness, in himself, in the order of things. He does not lose hope even in the darkest times, because he knows that if he falls, the world will become a little darker. And so he rises again, because he has no right to fade away. God sees his fire and protects him, because he knows that Leo shines not for himself, but for others. And as long as he has this fire, darkness will not prevail.